Rick Davis here with you again. So you're in need of a new video camera to create videos for your company, but the choices seem endless. Should you go with a DSLR video camera or the traditional camcorder route? Should it be a model such as the Canon Rebel, a DSLR, or maybe the Canon XF100, a camcorder? Ever since 2008, when Nikon came out with their Nikon D90 capable of capturing HD video, the world of video recording has changed significantly. Traditional camcorders have come under some tough competition from their DSLR cousins. There are a number of pros and cons to consider when shopping for a camera to solve your video production needs. I'm going to outline some of the key points for you to keep in mind. Visual impact. The number one difference that hits you when you first witness video shot on a DSLR camera is the shallow depth of field. It has a strikingly strong visual impact. A short DOF is when, if the foreground subject is in focus, the items, let's say 10 feet away or less, will be out of focus. The biggest benefit of this cinematic look is that you can easily steer your audience attention to exactly where you want it and when you want it. The magic behind this look that only a DSLR camera can create is the image sensor within the camera. The sensor size is much larger than that of its camcorder cousin. A topic of consideration you should be aware of is how much media or footage each camera can capture. Typically, digital SLRs will be limited to 10 to 15 minutes of video per take. This will be acquired using an SD, an SDHC, or an SDXC memory card to hold the video files. Camcorders, on the other side of the equation, can record many hours of video, depending on the resolution or the compression settings that you use. Price point. Cost is always a strong consideration. Many DSLR cameras can be purchased for under $1,000, some for as little as $300. Professional video cameras are many thousands of dollars more. For example, at the time of this writing, a Canon Rebel T3i can be purchased in the US for approximately $600. The Canon XF100 HD professional camcorder sells for around $3,000. It should be kept in mind that additional accessories are necessary for both types of cameras, such as microphones, tripods, and lights. Generally speaking, you're going to need more add-ons with a camcorder as compared to what's necessary with a DSLR camera. Audio. Audio limitations are a real concern with digital SLR cameras. These models do not generally have the XLR audio input, which is the industry standard for audio connections. Instead, most of these cameras use mini jack inputs, which are much less reliable. In addition to using the XLR inputs, most camcorders have more than one audio input. This will allow for recording audio on separate tracks. For example, if you're recording a two-person interview, it's best to use two microphones to be able to isolate the sound from each subject onto a separate audio track. This will allow for greater flexibility for you in post-production. Another area of audio concern is the lack of being able to monitor the sound being recorded. All camcorders have the ability to monitor incoming sound via a headphone or an earbud jack. An area of limitation in the DSLR camera's viewfinder's capabilities. When shooting in a bright environment, a professional camcorder gives you two viewing options, either an eyepiece or the LCD screen. The hooded eyepiece will allow a videographer a way of shielding out any glare that may be present. An additional feature of camcorder LCD screens versus the digital SLR screen is that they have the ability to articulate or spin to various viewing angles. This is really helpful when you're shooting either really low or really high angles. However, some of the DSLR camera manufacturers are now starting to come out with the articulated viewfinders, like the Canon EOS 60D. And this is still the exception to the rule, though, at this point in time. There's also a big difference in viewfinder size. A camcorder such as the Canon XF300 has a 4-inch viewing screen, which is 25% larger than the largest DSLR counterpart. The Canon EOS Rebel T3i and the EOS 55D now both have viewfinders which are 3 inches in size. So in conclusion, at the end of the day, here's my final word on the DSLR video camera versus the camcorder. A digital single-lens reflex camera wins on many of the competitive fronts, like budgetary point, ease of use, and a really terrific professional end product. But a camcorder simply offers more professional options than a DSLR camera. Now, if you're a video professional, someone who's looking to move into that world, then a full-blown video production camcorder would be my recommendation for a long-term purchase. However, if you're someone who sees a need for some video production in your current business, most likely through your company's website, then I would strongly recommend that you consider going with a DSLR camera as a way of fulfilling your task of capturing and producing some great-looking video productions. You've heard my thoughts on this topic. What are yours? Do you find a shallow depth of field in production a helpful visual effect, or do you think it's gimmicky? Would love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment below.